Okay guys, I think I discovered the issue. It appears that this 150 ohm resistor right here is open, and it's actually damaged. I didn't see it on the top side of the circuit board, but just doing some troubleshooting underneath here in the oscillator and looking at voltages as well as checking the values, I stumbled across it. So it's this R1 resistor is actually open, and it actually resides between this point and this point of the circuit. So I've got my Heathkit resistor substitution box out here, and I'll show you what I mean. I've got the RF generator still turned on, and it's just laying in close proximity. So I think I'm good after we get that replaced. In here you can see if this is showing up on camera. My guess is the battery itself at some point maybe got over on the resistor and damaged this, or maybe it was just dropped at one time, even though the case is in fantastic shape. Let me move my hand here and see if this is showing up. I'll try to zoom in, but you can see that resistor is actually broke right down here next to the coil, thus not allowing the oscillator itself to work. I even threw another crystal out here and threw it in just to see across the circuit that I had, and again just doing some more troubleshooting. So I'm going to check these other resistors here really close and make sure none of them are fractured as well. But let me find another 150 ohm resistor in my component box, get this desoldered, get it put in, and we'll retest just to make certain that we're good now. Okay guys, I had a I think those were like what, quarter watt resistors, and I had a big 1 watt 150, but I had a 180 that's looks like it's about a half a watt. That puts it right at 20%. Tested that to make sure the oscillator works with that resistor value. It does. So that's good enough for me. I'll make a note of that just in case I have a problem in the future. But let me get the battery back in here, and we'll test it again. Let me see if I can get this up to the camera here. You'll see where the resistor was actually broke, and I didn't catch that just doing a visual inspection because it was down there kind of tucked away by the coil, RF coil there in the oscillator circuit. So again, a little divide and conquer. Was able to find the open component that kept the oscillator from functioning. So again, let me get the battery plugged in here, and then we'll do some basic testing. I'll get the circuit back together, and we'll see what we've got. Alright, here's the Midland Walkie Talkie that I just repaired. Again, I did a little testing starting here in the audio circuit itself, and just started here at this center section of the audio taper or potentiometer, and injected an audio signal and just ruled out any issues here. And then using the RF generator, of course, I could tell that the oscillator circuit here was not functioning correctly, because I could actually hear an RF signal all the way from what, 10 megahertz all the way up to like 35 megahertz. So it never would really oscillate and resonate at the desired frequency of what, the 27125 channel 14. So doing some troubleshooting and checking voltages, and then just going component to component, I found that the R1 resistor here, which is 150 ohms, was actually open. It was damaged right at the base of the circuit board itself. It was actually broke, and I couldn't see it. It was tucked in, or tucked right beside of the oscillator circuit, so that was the problem. So you can hear now I've got
testing
good volume.
1 2 3.
And as you just saw in the picture-in-picture, I hooked it up to the frequency counter and did a little transmitting, and you know, I'm spot on. All right, now I got a new problem. Again, this is the walkie-talkie that I repaired, and here's the other walkie-talkie that I thought was working, because I got decent audio out of the speaker for what appears to be. So if I transmit on the good one here in my right hand, you hear nothing. And you transmit on this one and it's good. So let me check this one again and just make certain I'm able to transmit. Looks like this unit's starting to oscillate as well here. That not sure what's going on there with that, but I did. I'm wondering if I've got the same problem with this radio, that this resistor right here is broke. And I tell you, when I look at it, the more I think about it, I'm going to pull it out and just bypass it with the resistor substitution box first. And it appears that the battery in these things just worked its way over here. There's no way to really hold it down. I'll put maybe something sticky on there in the future. Of course, I'm not going to leave batteries in it, but I just wonder possibly if the battery's just moving around inside of here and just hitting the side of the resistor, and you know, it's caused it to break. So let me pull this circuit board out as well. Okay, a little additional troubleshooting here, and what's wrong with the oscillator circuit is nothing more than the crystal, best I can tell. So actually many years ago I used to do, I think I mentioned it earlier, CB repair. So I had a leftover crystal in my one of my old parts drawers that I dug out. So that's what it appears to be wrong. You can get this battery hooked back up. And I'll turn on this receiver. Just turn down this volume. Now hit the transmit button here. What I'm going to do is just lay the crystal in here across the circuit. Alright, there we go. Trying to get a connection here. So let me desolder. There we go. I think I got a connection there. So let me desolder this other crystal that's in here, and then get this one in place, and let's just see if that resolves the issue. Okay guys, root cause here. One bad crystal. I'm going to check the radio on the frequency counter and see what we've got. Get this back on, and we'll do a little talking here and make sure we're good to go. Hey guys, let me show you how to use a dip meter. This is just one method. Again, I'm going to really just make a little near field probe and a couple coils of wire. Here's this bad crystal here at 27-125. And you can see I've got a receiver here set for that same frequency. So I've just got a loop here. Typically you wouldn't wrap that coil around the inductor itself here, but for demonstration purposes I'm not trying to get an exact frequency. I just really want to understand if this crystal will resonate. So again, I've got the dip meter here set in the oscillator mode. And for this particular unit here, it says to set it around 0.7 or so, just as far as the sensitivity. And I'm going to start here just above 30 megahertz. I'm on scale number E, and I'm going to just rotate down. And what I'm looking for is a deflection in the meter. So you can see I'm resonant here, but no dip on the meter. Alright, let me go back up to about 31 megahertz or so. Let me replace this crystal here with a known good crystal. This was another one in the junk box. You can see here at 27125. I'll place this one on as well at the same location, and we'll start here, and I'll just go ahead and rock it back and forth here. Okay, you can see the deflection here, and what that represents is the crystal itself. I'm able to actually through inductance just resonate, and that would give me a ballpark figure of the frequency as well. My guess is, with my coupling the way it is, I'm probably accurate within probably 0.2 to 0.3% or so. But you can actually hear this thing dips down. You'll hear it resonate, and lock in at the desired frequency at 27125. So there you have it. Again, if you've got a dip meter out there and you've got a question if a crystal itself is bad, just one of the methods and procedures you could use to validate the usefulness of the crystal itself. Again, this is the one that came out no good. This is just another crystal here I had in the old goodie bag here, just for I reckon future uses like this. So anyway, hey guys, just wanted to demonstrate that. Let's wrap up here on the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Again, to recap, we had one of the transceivers had a open resistor in the oscillator stage, and we got that squared up. Again, that was R1. It was 150 ohm. And the second unit had a bad crystal, and fortunately I had one back from my repair days doing CB work. So can't believe I held on to that, but I had the exact frequency I needed. Got that soldered in, and everything seems to be working well. So thanks again for watching this little troubleshooting, again on this little Midland model 13032 from June of 1973.